All right, welcome back, everyone. Tom from Park Avenue Trading, your chief dealer, keeping you sane in insane markets. For the weekly forecast, the levels that are going to be important for this week. Okay, they're going to be a little wide because they're weekly, but I'm starting off with the euro dollar. All right, so there is a slight support at like 117.05 on the week. I know it's very, very close. We're right now at 117.17. But if this level can hold, it's got a slightly, I'll say it's neutral to slightly bullish right now. The only way it really turns completely bullish is if we can get up above like 118.70. And we haven't been there in a while. So if we look at the structure itself, the market made a high at 118.30, came off, and we made a low at like what 113 like 90 or something like that. Then we reversed up above it. So you could still see that the market really is just in really a range, right, for the week, right? So these are the important levels. 117.05 is an interesting level. We need to get through. Really, I'm going to come up and say, for since it's a weekly, we're going to have some minor resistance up at 117 like 90, but the main line of resistance is right there, 118.30. But I'm going to tell you that there's an extension. If the market could break this, the extension's at 118.65. A lot of sellers would come in there to push the market down. Not saying it's reversing, just saying that that's going to be an interesting area of resistance. So I'm going to put that level up. And let's get a horizontal line. 118.68, close enough. So the first line of defense is going to be this level here, 118, say 30, the recent high that we've had. It could push back down to like say the 117.07 again, and then take the top out and hit that 118.64, where there's going to be pretty big wall up there, in my opinion. Now we're not there yet. We're just, we're having fun with numbers right now, but these are definitely the important levels. 117.05. If that breaks, it's going to be threatening 116, 116 like 50. That's another important support point. If that level breaks, there's a level below that at 115.40, and then 115 the figure. If that level's to go, the next level that it's going to go down to, in my humble opinion, would be 113.30. That would be the next level. That would be an extension off of this bottom. So the levels you got to watch. Now, of course, come to my daily analysis because I'll break down, what's going on exactly and have better points. But that 117.05 is pretty important. All right. Um, if it breaks, there's a short-term resistance, 116.50. So that's the levels in euro dollar. Let's move on over to good old sterling dollar. All right, sterling dollar. Short-term resistance, 136. Really strong resistance right now. This is also neutral, slightly bullish, but the level that has to hold this week has to be 134.81. A break of 134.81. Let's say we have a closing basis on a daily below 134.81. Market's actually pointing to a drift to 133.80. Not that, that low we had at like 40. Actually, we went down to 133.32, I think, right? So, but there's another level of support right here at 133, say 80-ish. Okay. Um, if that goes, it's actually pointed to 131.39. Now, there's a lot of wood to chop up on top, but it could pick up some tailwinds. So if we could get a close above 131, 130, 136, we got a potential to rally up to 137, 10-ish. We get a daily close above 137.10 for you sterling bulls. That's going to rocket us up to like 139. And then it's a new ball game. But again, you got to come to the daily stuff, and we'll talk about the daily like points. These are your weekly points, okay? So write them down, so you can, if you're trading during the week, say, hey, Tom said there's support at 134.81. Let's see how the market reacts there, blah, blah, blah. All right, so let's move on over to good old dollar yen. This one's been a tough one too. So hang on a second. All right, dollar yen. Um, I got that up from Friday. I told you the break of 147.55 was driving down. I actually said, well, the resistance was there. I said, you got to watch that resistance. Perfect. Nailed. 150, 147.55 held. Market drove right down to the support, kind of bounced off of it. So actually, I could take this off now because that was just for a video. Prove how great I am. Leave it in the comments. All right. So as it stands right now, dollar yen. All right. Dollar yen is actually still a little bit weak itself. Um, I'm thinking since we broke up, and I'll do the daily video, but I'm thinking it's biddish now. It may attempt at 148.90. The true breakout upward right now is 150.27. If we can close a daily close above 150.27, you're looking at like 152.5. But right now it's still in a, you know, trading back and forth, and the daily levels I'll give you will be spot on. I can assure you that because I zero in on dollar yen. But right now, as it stands, this 147.32 is important to hold. If it breaks this 146.80, if it breaks 146.80, it's drifting to 145, the figure, 144.74. You say, "Oh man, that's a big drop." Yeah, it's gonna actually break all the weight of this and throw it down to like 144.74. So again, come over to watch the daily videos and I'll be more, in tune. I'll give you more ideas when we do the daily. All right, let's go over to that wild, wild cross, that beast, sterling yen. All right, sterling yen. Right now, if we look at it, the breakout really happens at 200, like 60. Now it's not going to take off directly. There's going to be some resistance there. So the resistance at 200, say 55.60. If we get a daily close above that, we can start to say it's turning biddish. That's the break. Okay. So that means that we will get retraces. It's not going to just go straight up. But the next level above, if we get above 255, is 203.13. It'd be a wild move. Okay. So keep your eye on the 255. If it can get above that close on a daily basis, don't just buy it. It's going to get a retrace, but it could potentially even retrace back to 197.53. But I don't see that happening. It'll probably come back down to like more like 198. Well, let's see something here. Eh, I think it would come down to like 199, say 30, 199.20 before it would like reestablish itself to go back up. But right now, as it stands, if we break this 197.52, we're tracking back down to the 197, 195, 30, 40 level like that. So the true break occurs if we can get above this 200, say 55. Then we could start saying it's time it turned from neutral to now bullish. And then we'd have to pick points, of course. So that, this is all conjecture and playing, having fun with numbers, but these are definitely the levels, and I'll guide you through during the week to make sure you know where we are on the map. We could take some good trades off of it, low risk trades. Okay. Let's go on over to good old Euro Yen. Euro Yen. Okay, Euro Yen. Resistance right now, 173.30-ish. A breaking, if we can get above 173.30, the true break point in Euro Yen. In other words, it could track around there, but the true break word upward, saying upward movement, is truly a break of 174.54. If it could get above that on a daily basis, close above it this week. I don't. know if that's going to happen, obviously. That thing's looking like it's going to 176. And we'll talk about that if it happens. Again, it's not going to go straight. It's going to retrace and we can get involved in that. But however, the most important 2 points that we got to watch out. We're below this 172.86 right now. This is a very short-term point. The main level of support for the leg upward is 171.45. If we close below that on a daily basis, you could look to sell rallies, use fibs, 50% retrace, whatever, measure the leg. You know how to do fibs, right? So you could look to sell it. It's actually opening its path up to 169.80. Now, if that goes, then it's opening up to 166. So I have a bias, I'm thinking that the yen is going to get stronger, but I'm going to trade the charts that I see. So anyway, that's what I got going on for you guys for the week. If you like what you see, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, man. That's like 6.99. Tell your friends about me. Join up. I do the best I can do for you guys. Make sure you check the daily videos out. And also, link in the description down below. You can get yourself a video and ebook series on price breakouts. All right, so I'll see you on Monday's daily video. And remember, enjoy the rest of your Sunday and enjoy the party, but dance near the door when you trade. Cheers.